Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my world. Welcome to Talk Leadership with Cedrick. You know, everybody needs a little TLC, and I am Cedrick LaFleur, your host. I'm excited to be here with you today. You know, Talk Leadership with Cedrick is where we focus on leadership and personal growth with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. Now, you know, our guiding leadership principle is the law of buy in, which says people buy into the leader, then the vision. You know, Mahatma Gandhi spent decades teaching others how to gain their freedom through peaceful efforts and nonviolence. Eventually, the people of India bought into his vision and they were able to help carry it out. Now, the lesson here is people don't buy into what you do, they buy into why you do it. And the people will, when people buy into that, they will gravitate to the leader before the dream every time. Now, you know, the boss, Bruce Springsteen himself said, a time comes when you have to stop being and stop waiting, rather, on the man or woman you want to become and start being the man or woman that you want to be. Tonight, we have a dynamic guest who has embraced that being the woman she wants to be. So, you know, every week I like to do a proper introduction of my guests. So let me make sure I do a proper introduction of Dr. Tsitsi Hungwe. Welcome.
Hi.
So I'm excited to have you on the show. So let me do a proper introduction for you. Dr. Tsitsi Hungwe is a dentist, a motivational speaker, and a life coach. She graduated from Michigan Technological University in 2012 with her bachelor's degree in biochemistry and molecular biology. See, we have a smart black woman on here tonight. She went on to complete her dentistry educational training at the University of Louisville School of Training. She is the founder and the chief executive officer of a groundbreaking organization called Higher Mountaintops LLC. Let me say that again: Higher Mountaintops LLC. I just love the name, right? Higher Mountaintops exists to coach and mentor young women in the space of dentistry, law, and chiropractic professions to assist them in navigating the high stress life that can accompany being a woman in a high position of power. Now, in her own words, she says, "It is my hope to leave Higher Mountaintops as a gift to young women nationwide as my lasting legacy for generations to come." Now, this is perfect for the day that we're celebrating today, the federal holiday, Juneteenth. You know, we spent the whole weekend celebrating Juneteenth. And what Dr. Hungwe says is that she wants to leave this as a lasting legacy for generations to come. Freedom rings when you leave a legacy for future generations. So again, welcome to the show. I'm excited that you're here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Cedric. I'm really honored to be on your show.
Well, awesome. So, hey guys, we're on Talk Leadership with Cedric, we just have genuine and frank conversation, and tonight we're going to have that. So, feel free to jump in the chat and put some comments in there. If you have a question, throw it out there. We're just going to have a good time. So, I read your bio, but our audience really like to hear from you about your journey to leadership and how did you get to where you are today?
Welcome, everybody. So, I'm so excited to be able to share a little bit more about me and my journey. So, it's a long story, but just to give you all an overview. In hindsight, growing up, although I never really articulated it often, I always wanted to make a difference. I knew that in the lives of people. And just a few months ago, I told somebody actually when I was younger, I really wanted to change the world. And my journey towards leadership actually began as a young child, growing up as a young child in Zimbabwe, where I spent much of my early childhood. I was always kind of put in positions of leadership. When I was in my early education in primary school, which is the equivalent of elementary school, I was put in charge of the we would call it the junior high and the elementary school as the head, the person in charge to kind of help lead the students. And moving on towards my journey to becoming a dentist, that also was through the mentorship and support of my dentist, whom I met in Michigan. The part of my leadership journey that I really want to highlight, because people have been wondering where did this dentist now mold into this transformational life coach and speaker. I would say the pandemic in 2020, when it began, I began to go on a journey of seeking for what I would want to leave as my legacy by the time I was 65. And I began to realize that I was making a difference in my day to day work as a dentist, which I will continue to do. But I wanted to actually make an even greater impact. And that led me on a journey, long story short, to joining the Maxwell leadership team in 2021, just a year ago. And then shortly after had me on joining the Black Entrepreneur Institute, which I will highlight a little bit later. And long story short, the vision for me to have this Higher Mountaintops was then birthed in the fall of 2021. And since that time, I have not looked back. And now I'm on that journey to help to be that woman to lead young women towards the greater vision that they have for themselves. And so that's a little bit about my journey as a leader.
Wow. Well, helping young ladies be able to dream, and inspiring them to, and encouraging them to live out their dreams, go after their goals, and don't wait for something to come to them. You go after. That's to me what you're doing with Higher Mountaintops, and even in your dentistry work, right? Um, so why the focus on young women?
I love that question. Why the focus on young women? Every day when I wake up, and most people don't know this, I am always looking back at the young woman who I am still. But I'm always looking back at the journey that I was able to walk and where I am today. And the reason why I chose young women, in particular, young female professionals to work with, was I began to realize that there were some common thread challenges that young women entering the workforce, in particular, young women who are in high positions of power. We are speaking of young dentists, lawyers, and chiropractors. I felt there was a longing for support, for networking support, for coaching support, and that person was currently not available for those who are entering the workforce. And I began to realize that I was the change that I wanted to see. And so for me, it is my way of giving back. It is a gift to myself because that person was and still is not there. And it is also a gift to the young women whom I will continue to pour into because I know that there is much of a difference that I can have on them in terms of not only helping them to become well adjusted, but in order for them to move towards the greater vision that they have for themselves. And I do believe that lives will be changed for generations to come because of their encounter with me.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. So people buy from people they know, like, and trust, right? It's the same thing when they tune in to this show. People buy into the message or people that they know, like, and trust. So before we dive deep, and we're going to go deep in here, but before we dive deep, tell us something interesting or fun about yourself.
I love this question because everyone has layers. So everybody sees the dentist, the life coach, and the motivational speaker. But I'm down to earth. I love to laugh. So any opportunity to have a good laugh, it keeps me going. And I love to travel. And so actually, I would say, in summary, besides my profession, people would consider me to be likable, playful, and fun.
Okay. Likable, playful, and fun.
Mhm.
All right. So we're gonna see if we're gonna dive into that a little bit later in the show. We're gonna keep going, right? So um no so your area that you want to really focus on is, you said, young women, and helping well, leaving a legacy for young women, but helping doctors, uh lawyers, and chiropractors um get a better sense of themselves in this high pressure career field,
Mhm.
right? Um, so why that particular area of focus? Did you see something there that piqued your interest? You're a dentist, or give us a little background on why that particular area.
I love that question. Why that particular area? So, obviously, I am in one of those professions. I'm a dentist, and I've had my own journey. And let's go back to the name Higher Mountaintops. So the name Higher Mountaintops comes from this, it's a metaphor for reaching this great celebratory moment. And so for my clients, that represents them entering the workforce, being this high-powered woman, this dentist, lawyer, chiropractor. And while the journey still continues, and we do have continuing education to continue to develop oneself in terms of the skills, there was a deficit that I noticed when I was entering the workforce myself, but also a deficit in terms of getting support, coaching, as well as mentoring support in particular. Having had some conversations with as well with young women in these areas, and the goal is, and I've said this before in conversations with others in these professions, we are meant as humans to not just be surviving. And I'm going to say that again, we are meant as humans to not just survive, but I do believe we are on this earth to thrive. And so while we can, on the outward, be thriving and receiving many accolades and doing all this great work, whether you're a dentist, a lawyer, a chiropractor, there were some common thread challenges that I was able to identify that women in these fields were facing. Challenges to include people pleasing, navigating, speaking up for yourself as a woman, perfectionism, pay negotiation, age discrimination, issues of speaking up for oneself in a professional manner while not suppressing your emotions, and just overall having that networking support so that one is not no longer moving from just surviving and becoming well adjusted, but really stepping into their role as a woman called to one of these positions. That is a greater level of elevation that I am able to help these women to get to. And whether they're seeking to stay in their current position at their workplace, or whether they're looking to own their own practice in the future, or whether they're looking to step into another endeavor, how do you get there? And that is why it is called Higher Mountaintops, because we are going to be moving from where we are to where we want to be. And I am that person, that coach that will be walking alongside them along that journey. And that is the purpose of Higher Mountaintops.
Well, look at that, folks. Look, I'm not even a woman, and I'm ready to go to higher mountaintops. All right, you go ahead. Let's just type "Amen" in the comments there. That is just awesome. So, I love it. And Crystal says this. Yes, I love the vision. Right. And it's definitely needed. Um, so uh, you are a dentist, and I know that career field can be stressful. I know that law can be stressful. A lot of professions can be very stressful. So, what made you decide? I don't know if it was when you were a young girl or however many years ago. What made you decide to go into the area of dentistry?
I love that question. What made me decide to become a dentist? And this woman will always be mentioned. I just mention her in passing every time. Her name is Dr. Lillian Kostinsky. When my family moved to Houghton, Michigan, in the early 2000s, we met her. She was one of the few female dentists that I had encountered. And she was just always one of the most nurturing dentists, created an environment for us to get cared for holistically, and took care of us, all of us in our family. And my interest in dentistry, in fact, evolved gradually. I mentioned I wanted to change the world from a young age, but I gravitated towards the healthcare field. And when I was in college and I began to sort of try to finalize what I wanted to do, I expressed an interest in dentistry, and she affirmed that. That was a game changer. And she opened herself up to allow me to come into her office and shadow. And from then on, the rest is history. So I am forever grateful for her for creating that pathway for me to be able to enter the field of dentistry. And just to reiterate to the audience, those who haven't heard, I am the first in my family to enter the dental field.
Okay, awesome. So, uh, taking care of teeth in the family. Go ahead. So, being a businesswoman as well as and a dentist must require some balance and self care, right? So, how do you manage that dynamic of balance, harmony, self care, whatever you want to call it?
That is such a great question because as individuals, we can be thriving on the outside. I think one thing the pandemic has taught us is the need for us to just take care of ourselves and to take care of one another. But before we can take care of others, clearly my role has been taking care of others, taking care of patients, as well as my clients. And before that, it is about taking care of myself. What have I done to preserve myself in order to sustain myself over the next 30 plus years? I travel. I take some time away to just kind of detach. I take moments of quiet time, and this is something that's kind of evolved in the last year. I take moments to spend time with my loved ones, whether it's my friends or my family. And I also just take time to get massages periodically and to just kind of, whether it's taking a walk or anything like that, it is the simple things that are so important. And so self care has been a priority for me and will continue to be.
Wow. Well, there you go, taking vacations and getting massages, right? That's a wonderful side of life, right? So, hey guys, you heard it directly from the dentist, right? You go, and she said first you go and get your teeth fixed, then then you get your massage, then you go on vacation. That's
That's
the
right.
new formula for health. For that's the new formula for self care.
Doctor's orders.
That's awesome. So, if you could relive one day, Doc, from the past, what would that day be and why?
Hmm. There are many days that I would relive, but this one actually is going to be surprising, actually. I would relive the day, and I still remember the evening. I think it was in September that I made the decision to be enrolled in the Black Entrepreneur Institute boot camp because
Well, look at that.
that literally changed the trajectory of my life.
Well, look at that. All right. Hey, folks, look, I did not pay her one time to say that. The check is on the way, by the way. I didn't pay her one time to say that. But so, and why is that?
So, the Black Entrepreneur Institute, for those who don't know, what role that played in my life. So, going into the fall, as I sort of referenced, I was in 2021 on a journey searching, trying to figure out in many ways what my purpose was and what I was supposed to do further in my life. And when I joined the boot camp through a series of conversations and convincing, I joined with the goal of trying to figure out what my next steps were. And through the boot camp, just to kind of summarize for everybody my specific journey, I was able to figure out what my niche was for Higher Mountaintops. And the dream for Higher Mountaintops was, in fact, birthed. And it had me making decisions, which I will speak on a little bit later, about what I wanted to do as far as my career. And so, without that experience, and I can say this 100% confidently, I would not be on this show today. I know that, having this specific conversations. And I do believe perhaps the dream from Higher Mountaintops would be there, but I probably wouldn't have known the right steps to take action in particular, to move towards the greater vision that I had for myself.
Wow, that is awesome, and I'm glad that we were able to play a role in you spreading your wings and flying to higher mountaintops. Absolutely love that, and I promise you, folks, we did not set this up. She's speaking on her own free of card, right? So, just Ella says, "I'm paying for that one."
You know what? I'm just gonna have for the audience just to, just to make sure that everybody knows. I was not paid for this. So just an authentic truth.
Yes, well, that is awesome and phenomenal. And just because she said that, what I did in the comments, I put in, we're having a networking event this coming Saturday, the BEI Black Entrepreneurs Institute Connect and Collab. There's no cost to you. All you're doing is coming to connect and collaborate with people who think like they believe like you believe, but they think different thoughts, right? People who are going to a higher level in their life, in their business, in their dreams, in their goals, in their aspirations, right? So come join us this Saturday. I put the link in the comments. Just click on the link and register. There's no cost to you. Come in and check us out, and we'll be talking about our next business boot camp. If you want to go to another level and you want to put your business together like Dr. Tsitsi, then definitely come to that. So if a client was sitting right next to you right now, or if I rung the doorbell, ding dong, and they walk through the door, what would they say about you and the service that you provide?
They would say that, first of all, I would say that, and this is a little bit deep, but one of my mentors kind of mentioned this. Let me remember what she said specifically, that sometimes the answer to someone's prayer, because I'm a woman of faith, is lies within a person. And whether or not they're able to articulate that, I would say that I was that person that was able to fill a void for them. Perhaps they did not even know that they needed coaching, support, networking. I made them feel empowered and that they could stand on their 2 feet and really step into their own, which I use that phrase, meaning become the woman that they're meant to be. Because Higher Mountaintops is not just about developing the woman within you professionally. It's about becoming the woman that you are holistically and really reaching that point where you are comfortable in the woman that you are. Because there's a lot of pulling and tugging that comes when you're working and stepping into your role as a manager. But really, I would say I was the solution. I was a solution to helping women who are struggling with people pleasing, who are struggling to how to speak up for themselves, who did not know any other women within their circle, who are in their profession. And I was a woman that was here for such a time as this, and they did not look back after meeting me.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, so hey, look, folks, Doc is just going to drop a few dimes tonight on us, and hopefully you can pick up what she's dropping down. So I enjoy it. I'm loving it. So Doc, leaders come in all different types of packages, right, with different strengths. What are some strengths that you feel are important? Give us two or three strengths that you feel are important for successful leaders.
The qualities that are important for a leader, I would say number one is humility, being humble. Number two is character. There's a quote by former basketball coach John Wooden. I love the quote. He says, ability will get you to the top, but character is what will keep you there. I do believe that great leaders have character, and that is really what will sustain them. Character to be able to listen to those around them, character to be able to evolve and know that change is okay to occur, character to be able to recognize when they make a mistake and acknowledge that, but don't stay there and get back on their feet. Character and humility to be able to uh, essentially just be personable with those whom they encounter. And so I would say humility, character, and the rest will take care of itself.
Wow. I absolutely love that. That's phenomenal. Humility and character is what Dr. Tsitsi says are the two strengths that are most important for leaders to have. Now, when we talk about humility and character are strengths that leaders should have, as you put together higher mountaintops, I'm assuming a part of your plan is to help women in dentistry, law, and chiropractor understand those two strengths. Not only help them lead, but it also helps them um, create that other stuff in their life, that balance and handling stress, right? It-
Absolutely.
um, well, um, when we think about um, your mission and your goal, and we think about the times that we're in right now, where a lot of people are dealing with COVID, they're dealing with stress because of that, they're dealing with higher pricing, prices for things. They're dealing with this, the COVID didn't cause the heat wave that we're having in the country today, but we're just gonna lump it all right in there too. But they are people having to deal with all of these things. So when a young lady or a young professional come to higher mountaintop, what can they expect to or how can they expect to get help, resources, or whatever you're going to provide for them?
That is a great question. So I would say as a starting point, we would have what we call a discovery session where we would kind of walk through um, what their needs are. Because my role, I see it as not necessarily, hey, these are the problems, because everybody comes as an individual. And so my role is to identify what are the problems. And with that, understanding where they are, and I'm going to say this again, and where they want to be. And the goal of a coach is not to tell the client what to do. I would say for those who are trying to sort of understand my role, it would be I would act more of a facilitator support in order for them to really understand that they have the answer. The answer lies within them. And one component that I would say is sometimes we can be bound by limiting beliefs,
Mm,
things that maybe we may not have even realized are
right.
holding us back. And one of the limiting beliefs that often can hold us back is comparison, as well as one other thing is looking back, looking back, looking back at what has happened, looking back and sort of longing for what has been. But to the woman that may be tuning in today, whether you're a lawyer, chiropractor, or dentist entering the workforce, we are now in the present. And now is the time for us to figure out where you are and where you're trying to go. And through that, I do provide one on one coaching support. We will also provide a networking support with other women. And the reason why this is groundbreaking is there has never been an opportunity to bring such women all together in the room, lawyers, dentists, chiropractors, and really have that common thread of networking support. And I can't give it too much away, but stay tuned because more information will be coming soon.
Wow, well, I absolutely love it. And as we talk, celebrate Juneteenth on today and this past weekend, you know, Juneteenth is about freedom, right? And Toni Morrison said it best, right? The function of freedom is to free someone else, right?
Mm.
Sounds like to me that's really the function of higher mountaintops is to help free these dentists and lawyers and chiropractors in terms of their thinking, thought process, and how they live and explore their life. So absolutely love it. Now, Doc, this is the time on the show where we have a little segment called "Would You Rather." Okay. So now, audience, let me tell you how you can participate in this. Would you rather is a segment where I'm gonna ask some would you rather questions. I want you to respond as well. I'm not just asking Doc here; she's gonna respond verbally for us. But you put your comments, your choice, your decision in the comment section. So here we go. So, would you rather pick the year that you die or the way that you die?
I would rather pick the year that I die.
The year. All right.
Mhm.
Audience, you guys can put your comments right in the your choice in the comments. Some people are saying year, some people are saying way. Um, Now, there's not a right or wrong, but Would you rather have a sports stadium named after you or have a university named after you?
A university named after me.
Why did I know you were going to say university? Okay. Um, would you rather have free Apple products forever or have free Wi-Fi wherever you go?
Free Apple products.
Free Apple products. All right,
Mhm.
all right. So there you go, Tim Cook. Go ahead and get those free products sent out to. Would you rather fulfill your biggest wish or resolve your biggest regret?
Fulfill my biggest wish.
Biggest wish. All right,
Mhm.
that's a good one. All right, since you like to travel, we're gonna really see what you like about this one, right? So, would you rather own your own private island or have your own private jet?
Oh, definitely own my own private island. There's my destination.
There's
I
your
mean, I can
destination.
figure
All
out how
right.
to get there.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna call it Tsitsi Island.
Absolutely. City Island, just like the university.
The University of Tsitsi. Oh my God, that could be dangerous. Um, so, all right. So, would you rather be best friends forever with your favorite celebrity or date your celebrity crush for only 2 years?
Hmm. I would say date my celebrity crush for only two
Two
years.
years. All right. You got 24 months and it's over. It's a wrap.
That's a long time.
Yeah. You'll be counting down. You only have 3 days left. Okay. So would you rather meet your great grandchildren or your great grandparents?
My great grandchildren.
Great grandchildren. Okay. All right. Oh, this is a good one in this time. Would you rather have free gas for 25 years or have your dream car?
What was the first option again?
Free gas for 25 years.
Oh, free gas for 25 years right now.
Okay. Um, all right. So I see, Ella and Crystal said their great grandparents, and they both said the free gas. Couple more here. Would you rather have the ability to read minds or have the ability to see the future?
Ability to see the future.
Ability to see the future. Okay. All right. Hey, Kendra said, hey, kick him off the island right on schedule.
That's right. My
um,
island.
Ella says she wants to see the future as well. All right. So two more. Would you rather have a life rewind button or a life pause button?
Life pause button.
No, pause button. All right. Um, last one. I always ask every guest this one. Would you rather have $1 million in Amazon gift cards or $100,000 in real money?
$1 million in Amazon gift cards.
1 million in Amazon gift cards, right? Because you probably already shop on Amazon every day anyway, right?
Not every day.
Okay, I'm sorry. Every other day. I'm sorry. Okay, all right. So I see somebody said, Crystal says, Amazon gift cards, Delia. Well, hello there, Miss Young. She says, real money. And Ella says, real money as well. Um, she says, money talks. Um, all right. Well, thank you for playing that round of Would You Rather. I always love playing. So,
That was that was
great
fun.
and great answers. And if you're listening to this broadcast a little bit later and it's not live, you can still put yours in the comments. Right? We'll be looking at it a little bit later. So, what's the biggest thing that you think has happened? I'm sorry. What is the biggest thing you think you've learned from a mentor in the last 6 months that you benefited from?
Hmm. So I've learned a lot from many mentors. Um, so I want to highlight somebody, and then that way I can tie it into what I've learned. So whenever I have an opportunity to shine a light on, in particular on a Black woman that has had an impact on me, I do so. So I'm sure she's okay with me sharing this.
No.
It was a conversation with Angela Hooper Manifeld, and was going through a challenge. And I distinctly remember her mentioning, and I'll just sort of paraphrase what she said to me was um, sort of when we're going through challenges and we overcome those challenges, those can act as receipts years later for us as a recollection so that when we face the next challenge, we know, okay, way back in the day, I overcame this. So surely I can overcome the next challenge.
Hmm.
And so to this day, it's been some time now. I do remember her mentioning that idea of using that challenge that you've overcome almost now as a power now, like something that's almost like changing it from something that was bad to now like, hey, like this is now like a superpower, like I overcame this, and using that for the benefit for the future. So I want to thank her for her advice. I want to thank her for her mentorship, and I want to thank her as well. She has become sort of like a mother figure in my life. And so I just wanted to take the time to highlight that piece of advice.
Okay, all right. Well, look at that. Angela's the mother figure. All right. That's what I'm talking about. You got two mamas.
Actually, I have a few more, but that's for another conversation.
No. All right, so we're gonna have the after show, folks. We might invite you to the after show. We'll see. I see Dr. Nick is in the audience tuning in to us. So, if you had to think about yourself, being this business owner, what are one or two things that you learned about yourself during this journey in this process?
I have learned that I am adaptable, and I have learned that I am capable of achieving a lot in a short period of time. So, just for the audience, people wonder, what do I do currently? I am still practicing dentistry. And actually, I was practicing full time dentistry over the last year. So, everything that everybody saw that I was doing up through April, I was working full time dentistry. And I was also doing multiple speaking engagements. And so that sort of gave me the confidence that, like, I've got this. And now I'm working part time in dentistry. And so I've just kind of learned that I'm adaptable and I can evolve and I'm open to change and I'm open to learning and growing, and that I'm on the right track and it can only go up from here.
Wow. Well, that is awesome and phenomenal and all of that good stuff. And let me tell you what, folks. Um, in the chat, I'm going to put the link to Tsitsi's or Dr. Hungwe's um, YouTube channel, and she did a graduation speech, right? And talking about dynamic and wonderful and powerful and just inspiring go check out her YouTube page and check out that speech that she did. Man, if that doesn't get you excited and motivated and inspired and pumped up, nothing else will. Just turn the TV off, turn the computer off, and go to sleep, right? Because I'm telling you, when you finish listening to her speak on that, man, I just put the link to her YouTube page in the chat. So go check that out. I'm telling you, man, it's wonderful. So, um, we'll get some people to go and check you out there. So, you know, some of the things that you're doing is, for people who are in dentistry, is groundbreaking, right? It's different, leaving dentistry and then saying, "Hey, I want to create these things." But you're not only working with adults, you're also working in the youth space. And I heard that there's a program that you are working with, and tell us a little bit about this little program.
Okay. Well, it's not a little program. It's called Wave. Catch the wave for those who
That's
know.
right. Catch the wave, baby.
So I would say that I am a Wave Youth Ambassador, and actually I became an ambassador last July. And it's why did I join and decide to become a Wave Youth Ambassador? This was really something that really spoke to the outreach that I would like to have in terms of impacting youth in particular. And in particular, for me, it would be high school students in particular. And so, just to kind of give you a summary, essentially, the mission is essentially in terms of developing students as far as programs to ensure that they develop skills in terms of their knowledge, their attitudes in terms of communication, leadership. And so there are many different particular values that WAVE holds, but it's essentially about empowering students. And in particular, we're looking at students who may particularly be maybe underperforming in the schools. And we're looking to sort of improve them as far as their leadership, their character, and all sorts of aspects. I think it's worthwhile for us to share the link, for WAVE so that people can really better understand the WAVE program.
Yes, and it's right in the comment, folks. Just click on the link and go to waveyouthleadership.com, and you can find all about WAVE. And if you want to be a WAVE Youth Leadership Ambassador, you can definitely become that. We have WAVE Youth Leadership Ambassadors in 21 states right now, and we are growing and moving and shaking and doing some things in school systems around the U.S. And I just want you to become a WAVE ambassador so you can learn how to catch the wave as well. See, Dr. Tsitsi is a doctor, so the dancing part, she don't get that.
I can do it.
Okay, there you go. All right, there you go. Got it. All right. The one time she got it. Okay. Leave the dance to Dr. Nick.
We're going to give him just a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. It's a little teaser. That's right. So, tell us a little bit about, where'd you grow up?
Where did I grow up?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I grew up in many places. So, sort of give everybody a summary. So, I would say early 90s through 97. My family and I were living in Lansing, Michigan. That's where Michigan State University is because my parents were in school. And prior to that, 2 years prior to 1992, I was born in Zimbabwe. And back then, late 90s, my family moved back to Zimbabwe. And so I spent most of my, I would say, age 7 through 13 in Zimbabwe and did my education there and spent much of my childhood there. And then 2003, moved back to the US, and since that time, have been here. So I would say I grew up both in Zimbabwe and in the US.
Yes. Now, the reason I asked that question is because of this. You see, sometimes when people hear of someone being successful, being a doctor, we consider that being successful, right? We
Mhm.
think that, well, that they had all the advantages of life and they grew up, in Kalamazoo, Michigan, or in, Kennebunkport, Maine, or in some place in Iowa, things like that, right? No,
Mhm.
no, no. You can come from another country and come to this country and be successful, right? You can be in a smaller place and come to a bigger place if you have the consistency, the intentionality, the desire to go to another level and reach that higher mountaintop. You can. And
Mhm.
that's really what Dr. Tsitsi is doing. She's living out that dream right now. She's not talking about what she's gonna do. We're talking tonight about what she's already done. There's more to come, but we're talking about. See, Nike has the slogan of "Just do it."
Mm.
Sitsi is saying tonight he's already done it. So
Mm.
we just say Dr. Sitsi just did it. You see, there's difference, folks, and this is what I want our audience to pick up on, right? So she's done the work. So, in terms of now being able to help prepare you and get you ready for women who are in healthcare, for women who are in law, for women who are in a chiropractor, as well, she can help you, right?
Mm.
This is what Higher Mountaintop does. So,
Mm.
make sure you click on her link. You go and follow her on Facebook. Make sure that you go and follow her on LinkedIn. So I'm going to put her Facebook scrolling across the screen. Put her LinkedIn here. I'm going to click on her LinkedIn and put it in the comments. All you have to do is click on the link and go and join Dr. Sitsi and connect with her on LinkedIn. Right? I know some folks in healthcare that are tuned in. Dr. Sitsi is one of those people you should be connected with, right? It's all about the power of the network.
Mm.
So that's in the comments. I'll put the Facebook link there as well here shortly. So, you've had a lot of success in life, but, we've also had times in our life where maybe we failed at something or maybe it wasn't as successful as we wanted it to be, right? So give us an example of one time that you failed, what the failure was, and what was the lesson you learned from it.
So life is about falling and getting back on your feet. The moment that I would like to highlight, and some may not be aware of this, we won't call it a failure. It was a series of failures, but it's all connected. In 2016, I actually walked and graduated from the University of Louisville School of Dentistry. During that time, though, my start into entering the workforce as a dentist was delayed. Why was it delayed? There were three board exams that I had to take, and the board exams allow you to essentially, get into your position as far as practicing as a dentist. Two were written, and if the audience can keep track of this, one of the exams I failed and I had to take twice. There was another board exam that was written, and I failed it three times and passed on the fourth time. And there was another board exam that I failed three times, uh, and I had to attempt it again, and I passed it on the fourth time. So just to give the audience context, I had to take my board exams collectively, the three board exams, 10 times, which means there were seven failed attempts. It was May, it was June, it was July, it was August, it was September, it was October, it was November, and it was finally December that everything came to a close. What did I learn from these struggles? I learned that one must not give up. One must not give up, because here I am, I had already graduated and I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that I had a calling to become a dentist, but there was this barrier that had come. But it was not a reflection of the type of woman, the type of dentist that I would become. It taught me that life at times may give you a little bit of a curveball, but it doesn't have to determine your future. And here I am standing today. And I do believe that journey that I took in 2016 has given me perspective, has given me much strength, has given me much empathy, and will actually make me a better coach for my clients in future who will be also wanting to get help to overcome their own personal challenges. And so I mentioned that story because oftentimes we may want to bury the failures that we have, but I have been very intentional in the last year to highlight this story because it is almost unbelievable. But it did happen. And here I am standing. And so I just want to encourage the viewers, do not give up, persevere.
Wow. That right there, folks, is a mouthful, right? And what I love is that you didn't waver. You said it was in August, and it was September, then it was October, then it was November, and then boom, December, right? You didn't waver in and say, "Well, guess it wasn't meant for me to be a dentist." I guess I'll just have to do something else, right? Nope. It was meant for me to be a dentist. It just means I just got to go buckle up and study a little bit more. That's it, right? Absolutely love that story and the journey, and it's amazing for people who are out there listening, young people, old people, middle-aged people. You need to understand: never quit, never give up. Winners don't quit. Winners just keep going. They just figure out a different way to make it happen over and over and over and over again. So, Dr. Tsitsi, this has been a great show. I have one final question for you, and I asked everybody this question, and to me, it's an important question, it's a powerful question. But before I ask you that question, I just want our audience to just in the comments, if you love what you've heard from Dr. Tsitsi Hungwe tonight, just type in yes in the comments. Just type in yes in the comments if you love what you've heard from this powerful woman tonight on this show. Just type in yes in the comments for me. I just want to see. Hey, look, I know that she's dropped some things and some things that's going to help you. Look, she said, get your teeth done, get a massage, and go on vacation. That's the way to balance and harmony and self care. Look at all these yeses that are coming in. Yes, I'm loving it. Right. Um, and so keep doing what you're doing, Doc. And by the way, she calls herself my number one fan. So,
Absolutely.
I
Number
had to have
one.
her on the show. Or she wasn't gonna
You
be
didn't
number
pay
one.
me for this either.
That's right.
Just
Yeah.
to say that I'm his number one fan for life.
Yeah. I didn't pay for it, but I'll send you the check in the mail. Don't worry. No. So my final question for you is, Doc, and I've enjoyed you being on the show. If there was a book that was written about you, okay, what would the title of that book be, and what would it say in the summary in the back of the book about you?
The title of my book would and will be My Story Can Be Your Story. It's been sort of a recurring theme of empowering others to believe that they can overcome. And the subtext would see a story of hope and uh, overcoming. And the back of the book would discuss my journey. It would say that I had a dream to change the world as a young child, and I was able to fulfill that by the time I was in my late 60s. And looking back now, I was the founder and CEO of Higher Mountaintops and really enabled women to move towards the greater vision that they have for themselves. Women who did not know that they were bound by limiting beliefs, women who did not know that they needed to meet me and their lives was not the same after they met me. And it would end with the story is still to be told, and that everything she did was a gift to the world, and she will be remembered for generations to come, and somebody else will uh, take on that role in the years to come.
Wow. Absolutely. Love that. So when is the book coming out? All right.
We're going to just keep that under wraps, but just stay tuned. The number
Okay.
one, the number one fan. Gotta keep a few things, close to her, but
Okay.
don't
All
worry,
right. All right. Well, we
you'll,
want to.
you'll be hearing about it.
Okay. All right. There it is. I love it. Ella said, just write it. So we gonna buy. You had us all tuned in right here, right? I already had to call the station and tell them we going over our time period. So, um, thank you very much for coming on the show. I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation with you. Hopefully, you enjoyed being here tonight with Seti on Talk Leadership with Cedrick. Well, you know what? Everybody needs a little TLC.
Oh, thank you. This was great, and of course, as I said to people, I love to laugh, so this is also great. Yeah.
Awesome,
Mhm.
awesome, awesome, folks. So we've had a great show tonight with Dr. Tsitsi Hungwe. Go ahead and in the link in the comments, you can see her links to connect with her on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Go check out that video that I told you about, the graduation speech that she did, and reach out to her and her Higher Mountaintops organization. Folks, there are some people that dream about things and some people that talk about doing things. And tonight we had a guest on who's actually doing things, right? And this is where we want to help you be doing things. So on Saturday in the comments, you can connect. You can click on the link to come to Connect and Collab. The Black Entrepreneurs Institute is having our networking event. There's no cost to you. Leave your wallet at home. All we want to do is help motivate you, inspire you, and connect with you. So make sure you click on the link. We'll see you Saturday morning at Connect and Collab. There's a link also for the DEI Business Bootcamp that starts in September. So you have plenty of time to go ahead and save up. Right? We don't do layaway now, but you got to go. You can go on ahead and save up to get in the BEI Bootcamp. Right now, last thing I'm always going to leave you with is this. The only difference between ordinary and extraordinary is extra. The only difference between winning and losing is belief. The only difference between a person reaching their full potential and not reaching their full potential is desire. The only difference, folks, between hot water and boiling water is 1 degree. You see, at 211 degrees, water's hot. At 212 degrees, water boils. With boiling water comes steam. With steam, you can power a train. Make sure, folks, that you take that extra little step to be extraordinary in everything that you do every day. Not some days, not most days, not every other day, but every day. And the last thing is, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu, and don't be on the menu. Thank you and good night.